Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a full year since Terminal Secrets Episode 1 first aired on the Stable Tech channel. I am unbelievably excited because Terminal Secrets was something that I conceived of back in 2014, about mid-2014. It went through so many changes, being greenlit, being cancelled, being greenlit again, and there were so many points where I thought, this is never going to get to the air. My time making audio dramas is basically dead in the water, and I was completely and utterly wrong, because Terminal Secrets finally made it onto the air exactly a year ago, and it has been just, oh wow. Because that has spurred my time at East Corp, that has spurred me working on the Wasteland Survival Guide, on behind the scenes, and on so many other projects. Wow, I'm excited. Let's get started. Okay, so before I start answering the questions, because I think there are 10 questions that got asked, and I will be answering all of them. But before I start with that, I just want to talk about the night of that first upload, because it's quite funny. And so when I first uploaded Terminal Secrets, the first major thing was that I edited that myself. Now, before I started writing, I was a professional video editor. I worked on a TV show for 2 years, on a reality TV show, editing that. And so at this point, I think I've been editing for about 4 years. I'm in my 4th year of professional editing now. But I'm a video editor. My audio work is horrendous. It is really shite. I mean, I edited that in Premiere Pro. I didn't use Pro Tools. I didn't use Audition or Audacity. I used Premiere. So it was a very rocky, messy edit that I did in one day that everyone hated the audio editing. But it's funny because now if I need the audio editing done for Terminal Secrets, I hand it over to James Kelly, who works wonders with it. And it's so fantastic to have grown from that. So I uploaded this at night, or at least at night for South Africa. It was about 11, 12 o'clock, I think, that I started the upload, and I thought to myself, okay, cool, I will start this is usually what I do, is I start the upload at night, so that it finishes uploading while I'm asleep, and by the time I wake up, it will have already got some views and some comments, and so I don't, because normally what I do is, as soon as I upload a video, I will stare at it. And I'll come back to it every 5 minutes. It happens even with Wasteland Survival Guide and with with the podcast, even with videos that I necessarily didn't have a hand in, like Confessions of a Wasteland Pony. I still keep a very heavy eye on the progress of those. So trying to upload things when I sleep is how I attempt to let some time pass. But the problem is, I don't sleep. My first night after uploading Terminal Secrets was just filled with nightmares. I expected comments along the lines of, we never asked for this shit, who wanted this? Did anybody ask for this? And the other question of, hey, where's the animated series? Which, okay, I think we got one person asking where the animated series was, because that's the tradition on Stable Tech. Skybot and I make a video, at least one person asks about the animated series. But I had nightmares. I barely slept that night. But when I woke up, sure enough, I think it had hit 1,000 views by the time I woke up, and I was completely blown away. And it was amazing, because I'd refresh my phone. Oh, look, a couple more views. Oh, look, a couple more views. And for someone who had never really got views on his own projects ever before, this was really, really amazing. And to this day, of my audio drama series, Terminal Secrets episode, that episode of Terminal Secrets has done the best. If I think about episode 1 did 4,000, I think, yeah, episode 1 did 4,000, episode 2 did 1,600, and Episode 3 has now done 1,200, I think, on the East Corp channel, which is which I'm really happy with how 3 did, considering that we started it on a brand new channel and we're still trying to get our grips and get some of the I don't think all the people who listen to us on Stable Tech are quite aware yet. Although, I mean, my farewell video has 4,000 views. Yeah, my farewell video has more views than most of my audio drama work, which is depressing. But that was a year ago. That was all a year ago. It's really fantastic. I need to start by giving out some thank yous, of course. Of course I must, because there are some fantastic people who have helped me through the creation process of this. The first thank you has to go to Mr. Steve Richard Davies, Mr. Richie or Steve, who he's listening to this, or he's playing Mass Effect 1 through all of them. Back during my time, I won't go into the details too much because we actually have something else planned where I'll go into the details of the Terminal Secrets production process, but there was a point where I was in a really bad place at Stable Tech where I wasn't really a part of the writing team anymore by my own choice. I needed a break, and Davies brought me into the PR team, and together we created Stable Talk, and he said, well, if you've got anything that, if you write something that we can use for promotional purposes. And I wrote an animation which never got to air because he looked at it and said, no, James, I mean, write something that we can actually make currently. All of our resources are devoted to episode 1. We can't, no, write something audio based. And then I went, and then I had a little epiphany and came back and pitched Terminal Secrets to him, and he was over the moon. He was happy with it. He took it and he pitched it to the studio higher-ups, and they greenlit it. And even during the periods where we weren't sure if Terminal Secrets was going to make it or not, Davies was the constant person next to me pushing to get Terminal Secrets put on air. And it's a shame he wasn't involved in the final version of Terminal Secrets, which came out. I think at that point he was just tired. Understandably so. He was also directing over at Pabs, where he and I both work now. So he was also very busy, but there would not be Eternal Secrets without Steve Davies, and I'm very eternally grateful. Funnily enough, one of the other major reasons we have Eternal Secrets is Skybolt. So essentially, when I came to realize that Terminal Secrets I could not get Terminal Secrets up on my own, and I needed to pitch it again. So what I did this time was I went and got hold of Skybolt, who I'd had 1 or 2 conversations with before, but we mainly didn't speak or know each other that much. I was familiar with Confessions. I don't think he knew much of me at all. This was late 2015-ish, late or mid-2015. I went and got hold of Skybolt and said, cool, I need help. Because Skybolt he got his way at Stable Tech most of the time. And Davies had also recommended this to me at one point, was get Skybolt on your side. So I went and got Sky on my side, and this time we managed to push it through. Studio higher-ups basically rolled over, and we all sat down. Myself, Skybolt, writing director Daniel Mohan, who has been my mentor for many years, former Stable Tech co-director and writing team member J.D. Parks, and Heathen. We all sat down and we started working on Terminal Secrets, pitching episode ideas, with each writer writing a different episode, and oh wow, the rest is history. I mean, at this point it has changed a lot since that day. Originally we were going to do 10 episodes, now we are going to do 6 episodes, which is actually the answer to one of the questions up there, which I should actually start talking about the questions. Let's start talking about the questions that everyone has asked me, because I'm probably boring some of you. So question number 1, what are some of the inspirations for the show? Okay, so inspirations for the show change depending on the episode, because each episode takes place in a different stable. We have a bit of leeway in what we use to in what we use as our building blocks, you could say. So, for example, Skybolt used Dr. Halsey for Dr. Needle in Terminal Secrets Episode 1. He took inspiration from that. Specifically, I took inspiration in Episode 2 from a lot of inspiration from Chinatown and Jessica Jones. I quite enjoy noir, and you can see it in Vienna's design. I took quite a bit of inspiration from Veronica Mars as well for the dialogue. Terminal Secrets naturally takes inspiration from Fallout's audio logs, although we have shifted that a lot. So our inspiration really does depend on the episode. We can say with this concept we want to use these. This concept has been used differently by these guys in the past. We'll use them as the primary inspiration for what we're going to do now, which has been really, really helpful in keeping the show fresh and keeping every episode as different as possible. Question 2. Will the episodes become longer? Yes, see, this is the this is the Confessions of a Wasteland Pony sort of deal, where this guy started Confessions out at 20 minutes, then shot up to an hour, then to 2 hours, then to 9 hours, then to 10 hours, then to 50 hours, and I mean, wow. So, not really. It depends. So, Episode 1 was a 45-minute episode. Episode 2 was an hour and 7 minutes. Episode 3 of Terminal Secrets was, I think, back down to 40. Episode 4 is currently still in the writing process. It's very near the end. So I'd say, but I'm estimating that will be more along the lines of 45 minutes as well. Same can be said for Episode 5, so it's fairly consistent. Episode 6, however, because it's such a large closer, which I'm actually considering separating into 3 parts and releasing over the course of a week or 2 weeks, is very long. It's a Confessions of a Wasteland Pony length episode, with about a 40-minute opener, another hour for part 2, and another hour for part 3. So one of the episodes will be longer. At least one of the episodes will be longer, but most of them will stick to the 40-minute time frame. I quite like that 40-minute time frame. There's a lot that you can do inside of it. Okay, question 3. What does the future look like after Terminal Secrets? So I'm going to answer that question. I actually should have put that question at the end of the list, because I'm going to answer that question. I'm going to answer that question at the very end of this Q&A. So we're just going to skip right on over to, will there be a crossover with Confessions? So we are exploring the opportunity. As you know, Skybolt and I like to keep our universes, our stories, in a way that they're consistent with each other, but so that we don't clash with each other. But that's not necessarily done so that we can do crossovers. A crossover is possible, but what is also important to remember is that Confessions of a Wasteland Pony takes place 2 years before the events of Fallout Equestria, whereas Terminal Secrets takes place 16 years before then. So there's quite a lot of... there's a big time gap. It is possible, but I will not confirm and I will not deny whether or not that has happened. I'll say it's something that we have looked at, that we are aware of the possibility, but I'm not going to say whether or not it's going to be there or not, because I don't want to get your hopes up. Question 5. Will there be an audition for any new roles in Terminal Secrets? Yes. So this is something that we're really excited about, that we haven't done before. Well, we did once with the Wasteland Survival Guide, but we haven't done to this scale before. Is unlike Stable Tech Studios, where we had our internal voice actors. For this, we're going to be doing open casting. for Terminal Secrets from now on will be done with open casting. Once the script for episode 4 is finished, and I'm busy compiling the character sheet at the moment, we will be taking... We will take it and we will put it up in a video and onto a Google Doc for all of you. So there will absolutely be auditions that you guys will be able to audition for future episodes of Terminal Secrets. Every single episode will now have that. We are very excited for this, to have the opportunity to increase our pool of voice actors and voice actresses. Question 6. How does it feel to have a studio as expansive as yours? Oh my god, it's the best feeling in the world. Oh my god. It really is. It really is one of those absolutely mind-blowing sort of... So, we're not a large studio, but god, we're happy. We are so happy with what we're creating and what we're doing at the studio. And that, I think, is... So, I think it took us 3 months. October... So, no, we started on the 30th of October, so November, December, and January and February. It took us 4 months to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark, with Confessions 5 finally pushing us over the barrier. We have our Patreon page up now, which is... We've got 13 patrons, and we are making, I think, $89 a month, which is about half... Which is a little bit over halfway to our first goal, which is $150 a month to hire a new voice actor or voice actress who is with a bit of a fan following, who we are all fans of, so that every new month we can have new content with some really talented voice actors. So our studio is very slowly growing now, and that is the fantastic part, is yes, sometimes it does feel like it's growing slowly, but that's not what matters. The fact is that it's growing. This was the whole reason that Kelly, Skybolt, and I left Stabletech and created East Corp, was that the thing we said more often than anything else was, we want to build something new and watch it grow. We want to watch it expand. And that's what we've been able to do here, is people come to East Corp just for the East Corp content, and that number of people have just been growing bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're now able to keep adding on new projects, because we've got Terminal Secrets and we've got Confessions of a Wasteland Pony, which roll out when they're ready, but every 2 weeks we release the Wasteland Survival Guide. We now do... The podcast is now going to be turning into a live stream, which or at least we're planning to, which is looking really interesting. So... And then, of course, we are looking at adding a new project, Fallout Question Behind the Scenes, which we are building at the moment, which is looking to be one of our most ambitious projects, if not our most ambitious project to date. And then, of course, we have a few other things that I'll talk about later, but the ability to go online into the studio space and say, hey guys, I've been developing this new idea. Throw some resources at me, or I go directly to the artists and the voice actors and say, guys, I'm developing a new project for us. Jump in, and there is always someone to jump on board with that. Especially with the voice actresses, they are fantastic. So every writer's great dream is to be able to write the things you want to write. And I'm not saying that I'm there yet, because obviously, this isn't paying my bills, but as a writer, to be able to write what I want to write and have an audience to receive it, whether or not I can make a career out of this yet, that latter part is irrelevant. The fact is that there's an audience there, and they're listening to the things I write, and it makes me a better writer. And that is the dream that every writer has. They have it on a larger scale, and of course I have that same dream on a larger scale as well, but East Corp can expand. I have plans that I won't talk about yet. That's a plan I'll discuss in September to December. But the studio is expanding, and it will expand further. Not too much. Not so much that it gets out of control, that we lose the personality that we so love about ourselves, but we'll expand. We are expanding, and it feels fantastic. Question 7. Does the spread of members across the globe hurt or help productions? So this is it. I've had this conversation a lot. I've worked on a lot of productions that have gone online, and with members all across the globe. And I've now been working in productions like that since 2013. So, late 2013. So 4 years. 3.5 to 4 years I've now been working on productions like that. And honestly, it can go both ways. It can go both ways. If you do not have a director or a producer, I almost said Derusa. If you don't have and now I almost said projector, a director or a producer who does not know what they're doing, and if they are not organized, then yes, it will absolutely hurt your production. If you have a team member that you rely on who fucks up, that will hurt your production. But that's the sort of thing that will hurt every production, whether or not they are across the globe or not. If I have a producer right next to me who is not doing his job and did not organize people to be at a meeting, or did not organize for an actor to turn in lines, then I've lost a day. The difference, of course, is that there are certain things I can't do. So, yes, over a Skype call, I can discuss with a voice actor what his or her performance is like and how I'd like it to change, and hear them deliver a line. But the difference is that they then... Usually the mic they use to record is the mic that they use to talk to me. So it's not like they can... A lot of the time, it's not like they record and talk to me while I direct them at the same time. Some do. Some have both mics, so it is possible, but it's not great. There is an advantage that I've found with directing behind the scenes, where most of the main cast are all South African, and so it's easier for me to get a hold of them, although sometimes it's not, because we all go to school together and we all have our exam period now. And while I'm really good and I've got experience juggling my university work with professional production work and my amateur work on the side, a lot of them don't. So it's not necessary. I'm not going to go so far as to say that what hurts your production is them being across the globe or being with you. I'm going to rather say that it is the quality of the crew members that makes a difference. Honestly, I think if you handle it right, which does take time, the only downside is that on a couple of those nights you are going to be doing meetings at 1 o'clock in the morning for yourself. And I do most of my meetings at 1 o'clock in the morning. My sleep schedule is utterly fucked. 8. Question 8. How many more chapters do you plan on adding to the Wasteland Survival Guide? Wasteland Survival Guide? I guess I can answer that question. We have no fucking clue. Wasteland Survival Guide, we're kind of doing as we go. We make 5 chapters at a time, more or less. 3 to 5 chapters at a time, and we roll them out. Because 5 chapters from one writer will cover us for 10 weeks. So if Skybolt and I both put out, both give Needle 5 chapters, that is 20 weeks worth of content. That's half a year of upload content that we have ready. So we don't necessarily have a long-term plan with it, and we have no idea how long we're going to keep it running. Essentially, we'll keep it running as long as we have interesting stuff to say. And maybe if we find we run out of interesting stuff to say, we'll hand it over to another writer, the same way Red versus Blue did. Or maybe we'll end the production. But at the moment, current estimations see us running it for at least another year, and I can definitely see that. It wouldn't be hard for us to run Wasteland Survival Guide for another year. Question 9. Do you have any plans on doing an audiobook kind of thing for any of the stories? An audiobook kind of thing? Well, I mean, all of our stories are audio dramas, so... audiobooks are prose. That's the big thing. That's like... and conversion to prose is always difficult. Skybolt has basically done an audiobook at this point. We keep joking about the fact that he could basically get... his production is so much like an audiobook, it could go onto Audible. But Terminal Secrets, no. Terminal Secrets won't end up as an audiobook because that would require a conversion to prose and a single voice actor, or 2 voice actors. I think some audiobooks will sometimes do, and I'm not really going to do that, mostly because I can't stand writing prose. It can sometimes be enjoyable, but I hate it and it hates me. So no, Terminal Secrets will not be made into an audiobook. Wasteland Survival Guide, potentially, yes. We have spoken about that as a long-term goal on the podcast before, that the Wasteland Survival Guide could one day be packaged as an audiobook, and I could see that happening. That's really all I have to say on that. Question number 10. What are your favorite Vault experiments from the Fallout series? Which ones were particularly inspiring for you, not necessarily to duplicate, but to drive you creatively to bring out the series in its current format? And that question comes from Skybolt, because of course it does. Okay, my favorite Vault experiment. So, my favorite Vault experiment, which is specific, and it would be a cop-out for me to say that to say the Gary stable, but the Gary Vault is amazing. I find it really funny. But if I was to say my actual favorite, it is... God, I don't even remember the number. It was the hallucinogenic drugs one. And the reason for that is the one which spurred the idea for Terminal Secrets. When I was busy collecting the audio logs there, and picking them up, listening to them, learning the secrets of the vault, and it kind of just clicks. Boom. Oh my god. This is what I can do. Why don't I write this, but basically in pony form? Because originally the story of the analysts and Butterfly Stitch and the Crusader mainframe, that didn't exist at the beginning. That was all added in later. So I gotta say that would be... with a little bit of bias, that would be my favorite. I found in Fallout 4 there was a particularly inspiring stable, which I wouldn't say I'm duplicating it, but did give me a concept for a stable that may or may not arrive later, which was the one where you find Curie, where it's divided up into 2 halves. One half analyzing the other half. So, of course, that brings up the idea of analyzing people, which obviously I came up with the idea of analyzing before I played Fallout 4, but but to say that it did not, that I don't go back to that and think and use it when I need some inspiration would be a lie, because I do. Which also, yes, it does sort of help. It didn't bring out the series in its current format, but it does help guide the current format of the series. How long has this been going now? We are at the half-hour mark. Damn! Okay, so there is one more question which I put towards the end, which was what does the future look like after Terminal Secrets? So I have a couple of ideas. So one of the thoughts that I have is, well, I've been putting together a few episode ideas or concept ideas of stories to do after Terminal Secrets. It's unlikely that I'm going to take on a project as large as Terminal Secrets for a while. 7 no, 6-part series, which was originally a 10-part series that I had to dial down because otherwise I was doubted I was ever going to finish the bloody thing. From now on, I will be doing 3-parters. I quite like the structure that Big Finish does, which is they're an audio drama production company in England, and they're very, very good, probably the best in the business. If you are interested in audio drama, look up Big Finish, especially if you're a Doctor Who fan. What they do is they release their box sets, and their box sets will be a set of 3 or 4 stories, and all three and four of those stories will all tie in together to one specific story for that box set, which will then tie into an even larger story for that series. So you could have 4 box sets will make up one series. So they did a series called Dark Eyes, and there was Dark Eyes 1 through 4, and Dark Eyes 1 had 4 stories within it, which each story is about 4 hours long, and they released a box set of 4 stories entirely in one go. So I'm considering doing that from now on in how I structure releases, which I'm going to be experimenting with Terminal Secrets Episode 6, where it's divided up into 3 parts, though not so much. So I will release 3 stories, each story self-contained, but all tying together under one central event problem or a theme, which I think could be quite nice for how I release my content, and just also making it easier for me to complete long-running projects. But so there are 3 current projects that I'm working on that I will start production on after Terminal Secrets, or that I will look at producing after Terminal Secrets. The first one I cannot talk about because it is so early in pre-production stages, and I cannot confirm it'll happen until I confirm the license. So, but it is cool. It is cool. Fans of hardcore role-playing games would be very excited. The other story I wanted to work on is a project called Harmony, which is set 2 years after the events of the Day of Sunshine and Rainbows, when they parted the clouds. And that concept stems from my immense dislike of the NCR in Fallout Equestria, because Gord's plan in my mind is ludicrous. It's well-meaning but ludicrous. She plans to go to a whole group of settlements who have all been on their own and self-governed for 200 years, and tell them, okay, cool, I'm uniting you all under my rule now, and also, since all of you have you've all shifted over to your very strange forms of government. Some of you are running a monarchy, some of you are running a democratic republic, some of you are running a republic, some of you are running a democracy, some of you are running communism, and I'm going to make you all run under my version of democracy. I don't see that flying. So the story of Harmony would take place in 2 years into Gord's attempts to unify the wasteland, in Harmony Valley, which those of you who listened to the Wasteland Survival Guide, I had 2 paragraphs in the Hearths Warming chapter which discussed Harmony Valley, which was in the Southern Crystal Empire, and that was me sort of just calling dibs on that zone for potential of the story coming out. Harmony would essentially be about the people, the characters in this town, and their rebellion, their desire to not be a part of this ever-growing new force that is the new Canterlot Republic. And because they are the strongest town in that region, all the other towns in the region follow their example. So now you've got Gord and her Talons, and her Griffins, I suppose. The Talons are more necessarily a peacekeeping force. She's not really a member of the Talons at that point, where she is now. They're trying to negotiate, and this town is the aesthetic is very 60s. It's Vietnam style music and design of Because that feels to me like the next step forward. Whenever there's a dramatic cultural shift in the world, the music and the way we dress and the way we speak all starts to shift as well, very naturally. So I'd say that in that world, their next step after big band is rock and roll. It is that protest era music. So that's good. And of course, we're going to be bringing back a whole bunch of characters from previous stories that we've done, specifically in Terminal Secrets. Vienna was going to be making a return. We were going to be adding in some new interesting characters, like this fantastic centaur character, who's Craven. She's really stupid, but she's well-meaning. And then there's the grotesque mayor, and also about 14 years old. And he was going to be one of the major characters, if not the main character of the story. This story is not confirmed to be happening, but it is quite likely. It's quite likely to be happening. Okay, and finally, on the third list of the stories is a non-pony related story. That's right. I know, that's blasphemy. It's complete and utter blasphemy, but this third story, which is more than likely to move forward into production, though not in the state that I'm about to show it in, is set in a completely original universe that I created, one of my world builds. And the characters are all anthropomorphic, and we've actually put together a scene. We've put together a short 5-ish minute scene. I haven't finished editing it yet, so I don't know how long it is entirely. It's about 5 minutes. And after this segment, we will be adding in a test scene. And everything is subject to change, though I quite like Needle Stitch's performance as the main character, Jessica. So we will see how it goes. I really hope you guys are interested in this. And after the video goes up, after you finish listening to the video, I will pop back in and just give my closing statements for this Q&A video. So in the meantime, everyone, enjoy.
Funny thing about the war, I spent 2 years on the front lines getting into all kinds of trouble. But I always came out, never doubted for my well-being. Maybe that's because I'm a special kind of stupid. Probably right. But out in the back lines, at the world the war long left behind, now that's the part that scares me. The part where I roam these days. I deliver packages, usually military information, between base camps, which makes me a prime target. What they don't realize is that alongside being a special kind of stupid, I'm a hell of a shot, too. Gentlemen, please form an orderly line. I'm getting on in years and I can't take this many dicks at once. I love the song choice, 24, but could you turn it down?
You're no fun.
Time to test your cross-country skills. Try to keep up. Fuck. Shit. Sounds like my ride's on the way. Just gotta keep running. Let's leave them some presents. 24, mines.
You Hunter, move.
Blow them.
Enjoy hell, you flabby fucks.
Whoa. Did you increase the blasting powder?
Well, an AI can't enjoy the sight of an explosion.
You only have one eye.
So do you. The jeep's almost here. It's on your right. On your right.
17, get late.
Sorry, I'm sorry. They've got the wrong cars following me.
What?
They're following us.
Jess, you really should get on the gun.
Me? Where's 7?
Yeah, she's still malfunctioning.
Shit. 17, raise the gun in the back. I hear him.
They'll be around in 10 seconds.
This was supposed to be a simple job. Cut the music, 24. I need to concentrate. Such a douche. Score!
We're still outnumbered.
Shut up and drive, 17.
I'm sorry.
Stop being mean to 17.
Is this really the time for this conversation?
Now is absolutely the time to do it. We're all going to die in a second, so there's no other time.
Fine. I'm sorry, 17. I'm sure you did your best.
Oh, you don't have to.
That was not an invitation to continue talking, 17. Focus on getting us out of here.
There's a bridge coming up. It's broken in the middle. I bet I can make the jump.
Alright, 17. Do it.
Yes, that blue car's too close for comfort.
I got it. Fuck.
Watch out! You're too close!
I noticed. Pity it wasn't the mechanical arm.
Do you have a plan?
Well, there's something I've always wanted to try.
What?
Ow!
What the hell? Swerve the car! Swerve the car! Throw her up!
Oh, shit! Alright, assholes. 24.
The arm.
Electrocution?
Whilst we're on the car.
Good point. Fire, Dan.
Loading. What's her arm doing? Her whole arm! It's bloody metal!
What? Never seen a girl who's had some work done?
17, the car, now! Hey, are you sure you can make that jump? Never mind.
Bridge coming up.
I know this is a cliche, but you should buckle up.
I hate to criticize you, 17, but are you sure you can jump that gap?
Just close your eyes if you're scared.
You're an AI. It's not like you have to be. Shit! What happened?
Well, you're dead.
Again?
That's what happens when you crash a car off a small bridge.
Well, I've never died that way before. So, 24. That makes 25 deaths.
Oh, that is the next number up from 24, yes.
Looks like your new brother's on his way.
Hey, it could be a sister, for all you know.
Is that a bet?
See you on the other side, Jess. Welcome back. Allow me to introduce you to our new ally, 25.
Hello.
Holy crap, okay, so I'm assuming you've all watched that video now, that section of the video now, and unless, of course, for some reason you've skipped it and gone straight back to me speaking, and I don't know why you would do that. That seems like a really, really dumb idea. We are at 38 minutes now. So, So I really hope you guys enjoyed that. We're going to be uploading the video on its own onto the channel tomorrow morning as well. So I do hope you guys go and take a look at it separately. Feel free to leave your feedback of it over here and over there, because that will affect how the series is produced in the future. Consider this not necessarily a pilot, but with the same concept. We want to see audience feedback. We want to see what you guys think of the characters, of how we handle the tone, the constant use of music, so on and so forth. So leave that. Just let us know about that. This world is really an experiment in being weird in a lot of ways. So there was a lot of inspiration from Torment, Ties of Numenera, and Planescape Torment, which I started playing back last year. Which both of them are very strange, very weird games, which I quite enjoy. In this world, we very specifically have a setting where we're one of those magical communities that always manages to stay hidden from the mortal world is exposed, and it sparks a gigantic war. Because if you have magical communities hidden within countries in the world, and all these magical communities have their own governments, and now they're suddenly exposed, there's going to be a lot of questions about, well, why do you guys get to govern yourselves? I don't want you to govern yourselves. You have to follow our laws. And so there's a very sudden outburst of suspicion and mistrust, and this war starts. And of course the mortals are losing because they don't have magic. They have guns, silly mortals. Until the invention of cybernetic enhancements, which allow the use of magic. Each enhancement allows a single spell to be used by a mortal person, which suddenly begins to turn the tide in the war. And now we find ourselves in a very strange place that we that is where the mortal world is now being shifted by the use of all this magic. Suddenly, cities are growing upside down in a cave out of solid rock, and suddenly tattoos gain healing qualities, and using different colors can help stitch together different wounds. You have doctors being replaced with tattoo artists, and a whole bunch of other weird and interesting stuff that begins to change the world, which I hope you guys will be really interested in. I am so excited to write more of the story. Our main character, she is a 40-year-oldish tiger who has a thick rebar spike through her eye, who is exhausted and world-weary, who has all of these snarky AI who follow her. She is completely unable to die. When you kill her, her body vanishes and reappears a few hours later. She is trapped in an endless cycle of undeath. I am so excited to explore this concept more, and I really hope you guys are interested too. And with that, that brings me to the end of this Q&A video, and it brings me to the end of my first year working in audio drama, and I could not be more happy, more proud of what we've accomplished, and I cannot wait to see what the second year brings up. So thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. And I will leave you. Good night.